Wharfedale is a quite popular brand in the entry-level speaker market, but there was a time when Wharfedale was considered as more serious contender in the market. I still remember 505.2, one of the Wharfedale's 80s speakers. It was one of the first authentic hi-fi speakers that I've encountered back then. But quite frankly, there was no notable speakers other than entry-level speakers for a long time from Wharfedale, since the ownership of Wharfedale has shifted to offshore. Then they began to show determination of making more serious speakers from a few years ago. This beautifully made Wharfedale Denton 85, costing little less than $900 in the States, is a clear example of such determination. Before Denton 85, there was Denton 80. It is somewhat unclear whether Denton 80 is still a current model, by the way. Both Dentons have rather retro look because they borrow their shape from Wharfedale Denton in the 1970s. This Denton 85, for instance, has that look of Denton 2XP. I do not know how Denton 2XP sounds, and there is no way I can find that out because it would be near impossible to get Denton 2XP as new. But I must admit, Wharfedale has put some effort in Denton 85, attempting to rebuild old times glory. The exterior of Denton 85 has that typical look of traditional British bookshelf like that of Harveth or Rogers, but at a fraction of the price. It's really nice looking speaker with real wood veneer, and the quality of veneer is it's in the very highest level that you can imagine. Denton 85 probably is the cheapest speaker with classic British looks. While I have no complaints about Denton 85's overall design, Kevlar woofers, I think, spoil the nostalgia. Unlike Kevlar woofers, soft dome tweeters are covered with perforated metal cover, reappearing 2XP's image quite successfully. Wharfedale has put some effort in speaker grill. Sound usually differs with or without grills if the grill has certain thickness, and Denton 85 is no exception. At the back of the unit, there is rather vintage-looking twin ports and large metallic label, which I find little over the top. My preference is more understatement of, say, Harveth. Then there are bi-wiring binding ports with bi-wiring plates. Binding ports are mounted with angles. Some may like the idea, while others may not so. I have no high opinion, by the way. The quality of binding posts and bi-wiring plates seem pretty ordinary, but it would be an unfair judgment without listening them. Some speakers have less than average binding posts and still sound great. The sound of Denton 85 is pleasant, big, and yet easy. This generously sized bookshelf produces rich and lustful rendition. It reminds me of Wharfedale's 505.2 of the 80s. It is a kind of speaker that lets you enjoy the music for hours and hours. On the other hand, there is no finesse in the sound of more expensive British bookshelf, but that is understandable given the price tag of this pair of speakers. I mean, Harvest P3, for instance, costs way more than this humble Denton 85. Further, if you're after pinpoint imaging or highest accuracy money can buy, you might be better off searching other avenue. I find Denton 85 is a great speaker considering its finish and generous performance at a reasonable price. But I remain skeptical regarding Denton 85's potential as an alternative of more pricey British bookshelf like Harveth P3, while I respect its value. Well, I guess that will be it for Wharfedale's Denton 85. Thank you for watching and see you soon.